First of all, just some reflection on the weekend. It seems the consensus is an improved performance, but quite frankly, obviously not the result you wanted.
Yeah, exactly that. Performance levels was good, were high, particularly second half. Watching it back, I think we limited them to any sort of real shot at our goal, which tells me we're in control. So yeah, there's a lot for us to take out of that game. Lots of positives that we have to use moving forward.
I know you talked afterwards about mistakes costing you. What can you as a coach realistically do to kind of eradicate that from your game?
Just put them in scenarios like that on the training ground more often. Coaching on the training ground. Unfortunately, sometimes there's things you can't control. So it's that's difficult. But it's it's really for us to put them into different scenarios that they're going to face more often than not, I would say, on the training ground. But there's been a lot this season where we've shot ourselves in the foot as a team, which has cost us. So we're hoping that can't last. We're hoping that will improve and people will start, taking more ownership in certain situations, and collectively that will improve us as a team.
And from your perspective, do you see that the people who have done this are learning and have responded in the right way when they have made mistakes?
Yeah, we've got a very self-aware changing room. We ain't got any egos in there, so it's we want to help people. We're not there to knock people down. So it's it's supporting them, putting them in the scenarios and training, making them understand, letting them speak rather than me speaking all the time and telling them what I think they've done wrong. I want them to be proactive on that. So it's yeah. I mean, it's been a good couple of days for us, really. After the game at the weekend, lots of reflection from that. Also looking ahead to the game. It's an exciting one for everyone tomorrow.
Yeah, we talked a little bit last week about formations and structures. I believe you had a look at a back three at the weekend. What did you think about that? Is that something that you could use again?
1 second, there's something popping up on the screen. Yeah, look, I think it's whatever way we play, our principles don't change. So it's you can look at that formation on Saturday. You could say it was a back three, or you could say it was a bit lopsided with Deji, Satona, and Luke Molyneux a little bit higher when he came on. So it's fluent in terms of how we want to play it and how we want to use it. Mo Fall can drift into wide areas, as you've seen in the first half. So it's making sure that we get it right, the right personnel on the pitch to make it work.
And you had a first start for Mo. How did you feel he did? Are you seeing some real progression as he's getting more minutes?
Yeah, he's a good player. Good player. I think you've seen that in the glimpses that he's come on in the games. I think you've seen it. Yeah, well, we've all seen it on Saturday when he was good. Obviously, look, that's his first 90 minutes for a while. So we're building him up slowly. Obviously, didn't start in the first 3 games, but a lot of interest in Mo. We're really pleased to get him. Like I said, there was a couple of 2 or 3 League One clubs would have snapped their hand off for him. We managed to get him, which is great. Obviously, thanks to the powers to be at West Brom, the likes of Chris Brunt and Ian Pearce, who I know and played with in my playing career. So yeah, he's going to be a good player for us. He's got real ability, strong, he's aggressive, he can run, and he can finish. I know we probably didn't show that on Saturday, but I've no doubt the goals will flow for him.
Is a one-off match with a big crowd and a cup game against a Premier League team the kind of test and match that you kind of feel you need right now?
I think it's a good game for us. It's a good game. Obviously, I hear there's going to be a good attendance here. We're looking forward to it. The whole of Doncaster, I'm sure, will be looking forward to it. A game live on Sky and TV. We just want to go and put a good account of ourselves against a good Everton team. Like ourselves, really, they haven't started the way they'd want to start. But if you look at their games, their performances, they've created so many chances in the games. We've been watching it, and they just haven't managed to take the opportunities. But Sean's a great guy. I know Sean really well. I actually went to visit him when I was in between jobs, and I'm looking forward to seeing him and his coaching staff, Ian Wone and people, and Steve Stone and people like that. So yeah, we're looking forward to the game tomorrow.
In terms of that, what you got from Sean, I mean, I've heard various podcasts with him that he's done. He always comes across incredibly well. Have you been a kind of a big fan of his work and just how he's gone about his career?
Yeah, absolutely. He's wherever he's been, he's done really, really well, particularly at Burnley, and given in terms of limited resources at times. So, yeah, massive fan of him. It's always nice to see the British managers doing well, and he's one of them.
In terms of this game, clearly you'll have a bit of expectation yourself, and you'll want to get certain things out of your team. But the fact that there's going to be no pressure or expectation from people outside of the club, can that help your players in this instance?
I'll tell you after the game. I'll answer that question after the game. I mean, look, it's a great game, isn't it? We're playing against the Premier League team with absolutely star internationals all through it. So it's funny enough, I played against Everton a couple of years ago, and it was a Hull in the FA Cup. So I seem to always be getting drawn against the same teams. But yeah, it's a great game for us. Great game for Doncaster, the whole of Doncaster, our players to test themselves against the Premier League level players. For us to test ourselves against Premier League managers and coaches. So it's we're looking forward to it.
Tommy Rowe talked a little bit about being brave in this game. Is it important that you do give it a go as a team and don't get overawed, and just because they're the Premier League team, give them that kind of due?
Absolutely, and we will be brave. We will be on the front foot. We're not coming here to sit back and let them dictate the game. We want to be on the front foot. This is our home. We want to make it a real cup tie. That's the way we want to make it. And look, it's not going to be easy. Don't get me wrong, but whoever we play against, we want to be on the front foot. So it's not just because it's Everton coming here. We want to be on the front foot against most teams and every team that we play against. So slowly but surely we're getting there, and I believe that hopefully we can see the fruits of that in the coming months.
And it's a great opportunity, isn't it? With the extra crowd, there's going to be a few bums on seats that might not normally be there for you to show what your team's all about, and hopefully encourage those people to come back on a more regular occasion. Absolutely,
yeah. And we want to, like I've mentioned this before, our fans are really, really important to us and so important to everything we do. They've been class since I've come back, and hopefully they can stay like that. Obviously, we'd like to put more results together for them, so we can give them something to cheer about. But we know that'll come. We've got a really strong belief in how we work and what we have in the changing room. So it's I think luck will start changing a little bit for us as well. We're starting to bring some, very close and getting 4 to maybe 5 players back, which is a massive boost for everyone. Not just to have those players. It's the competition it brings as well, which I think keeps people on their toes. So it's I think it's a great game for us. Stadium should be, I don't know how many's coming. I think it might be 11,000, 12,000, something like that, which is great for us. So it's looking forward to that.
I imagine that, though, just to check up on a few players, though, that you're not going to have many options to rotate or do anything like that with the numbers that you've got available right now.
No, unfortunately, and we don't have anyone back for this game, but making really good progress with Tom Anderson, Harrison Biggins should be back for the weekend. Ben Close and Kyle Hurst should be back early part of next week and available for Wrexham. Tom Nixon it's been out in the grass early part of his rehab stages today, so he could be a push maybe for next week as well. John Taylor started it on the Alter G, which is back again on running with weight bearing sort of movements, which is pleasing. And then obviously we've got the longer term ones like Sterry and George Miller, Liam Ravenhill, people like that. But it's nice to see some faces starting to return for us.
Yeah, just the game might be viewed as a distraction, perhaps, between both clubs. They haven't won; they've focused on the league. You've made it clear you want to focus on the league as well. What positives do you feel that this game can potentially offer?
I don't see it as a distraction. I see it as a good game for us. I see it as a game against the Premier League team. Look, any player would want to play against that sort of level of opposition, and we're doing that tomorrow with millions of eyes on us live on Sky Sports. So as a player, they should be really excited. I don't want them to get overawed by it, but be excited by the fact that is what's happening tomorrow night, and we've earned the right for that. Let's not lose fact of that. We've earned the right with the performance that we showed at Hull. So it's a good marker for the boys tomorrow. It can show them where they are and what it takes to be a Premier League player, as well as let's go and have a go at them.
Yeah. How much difference do you think there is between the levels? Because there won't be 4 times the player of your guys.
It's huge. The levels, the standard from League Two to Premier League is massive. And to be honest with you, it's massive from the Championship to the Premier League. So that's the task at hand tomorrow night against these.
Yeah. Do you think you might have a future Premier League player or two in your ranks here?
I don't know. You never say never. I think we've got players with attributes to have a really, really good career. But I think it'll be unfair to me to put anyone under that sort of pressure. But for us, we just want to improve on what we're doing. Really, we've seen a fast improvement on Saturday at MK Dons in terms of the performance. Everything, we break things down after games statistically, and the amount of times we're in the opposition box, the amount of recoveries, the amount of opportunities and chances we had, the amount of crosses that we put in, everything was doubled and trebled to previous games. So we want to build on that. We want to build on that, making sure that that's sort of a blueprint of where we want to go in terms of performance levels anyway.
Yeah, Sean, you said. What do you think him and Everton will be thinking about this one?
I think they'll be seeing it as a game where they can get themselves off and running. Personally, I'm sure they will. They're a Premier League team. They're thinking League Two team is a chance, but we want to make sure they know they're in for a game, and I think Sean will know that. In terms of, he'll be very respectful in terms of what he's about anyway, and so are we. We know we're coming up against top class opposition and a top class manager, so it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, Doncaster have never beaten a Premier League team at the Keepmoat, so it's a chance for Doncaster under yourself to make some fresh history for the club. Yeah,
we had a really good chance in the FA Cup a few years ago, didn't we, here against Crystal Palace, and we put a really good account of ourselves on that day, I think, and we want to do the same again. We want to. I remember that game we had a really early chance to score, and then Palace showed their quality. But looking at the boys today and training the last couple of days, they're excited. They can't wait to get going.
Do you like a cup goalkeeper? Will you rotate that position?
You will see tomorrow.
Can you recall a big upset that you've been involved in as a player or a manager?
Yeah, I've been involved in a few over the years. We came very close to beating Everton in the FA Cup with Hull. We took it the extra time. I've played in FA Cup games where we beat Fulham, for example, and things like that. Peterborough, we had a really good game at Chelsea where we took the lead early. So there's a lot of, to be fair, cup games has been quite good for me in terms of teams we've played against and also putting a really good account of ourselves on the day as well. So over the years there's been a few really good games.
Yeah, final one then. What did all those achievements have in common? How did you do it?
Say that again.
How did you do it on those occasions? What did they have in common, those big moments for you?
Good question. Just belief on the day, I think, and excitement in the day, and you find that little bit of extra energy when you're playing against better players and things like that. So we're hoping that can rub off on us tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
When things are a little bit tough, Grant, I've seen before at previous clubs, you seem to really sort of enjoy the fight, and it brings the sort of best out of you.
I think I'll think of to be honest with you, my whole career has been people write you off, and that's right from when I left school to being a professional football player myself to being in management. I've had it my whole career, and I love that. I think it brings that fire out in me. There's no doubt that people from the outside looking in will be writing us off now. But we know that we've got a belief in what we do, and many times at previous clubs, whether it be Doncaster here, the first spell where we didn't win for a few games, people were saying that the chances have gone. Whether it was at Peterborough where we didn't win for a few games and we always responded, or whether it was at Hull when we went down and people didn't fancy us to go back up again. There's always been that level of doubt aimed at me, which I thrive on. Really, it's a game of opinions. I understand that, but I love to see them opinions and hopefully, throw it back in their face one time.
And it can make it sweet if you can turn it around, can't it?
Absolutely, it's great. We have got. I know I keep saying this, but we've got a real belief in the group. We do, and we just need some of the players back now. I know it's not an excuse, but we need that competition. And it's it's hard. You know, you think of some of the big teams and stuff like that, and Man City, for example, if they're missing a Haaland and and a few people like that, it'd be at the end of the world, isn't it? You know, we were missing probably George Miller, one of our the leading goal scorer last year, for example. I'm just giving you an indication.
Yeah, I know what
it
you're
is
saying,
tough at this level, so we need people back.
I mean, you clearly respect Sean. You see sort of kindred spirits, you similar sort of mentalities. He's been one. He just he's single-minded. He blanks out the noise behind.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Honestly, the way he works and the way he goes about things. And myself and Cliff went and visited him at Everton, and he's so down to earth. His staff work meticulously behind the scenes, just watching him work. And in every team he's got, one thing you'll find with Sean Dyche's team is they will work and they will run and they will fight. And the thing about this Everton team, they've got serious quality. They added that as well.
Yeah.
So they've been unfortunate in the games. Maybe not so much the Aston Villa game, but the other two against Fulham and Wolves. You know, the amount of chances they had in the games. So we know what we're coming up against.
Is he the sort of one that some managers you can pick up the phone to and have a word, and he's that?
Absolutely. I've had so many conversations with him over the years about many different things.
Yeah.
You know, and he's always been there, sound and block. You know, because he's been in a lot of scenarios that I've been in. You know, even going back to his Watford days. You know, when he left there and stuff like that. So I've spoken to Sean quite a bit over the years.
I was just going to ask you finally about blanking out the noise. There's been there's little bits of stick on social media towards Richard Wood, you know, wrongly a little bit, but he's the sort of lad who takes it on the chin and sort of, you know, comes out the other side. That sort of
thing. Funny enough, I was having a conversation with Woody today, and that sort of thing came up in the conversation. And he's the same. He's got the same mentality as me. The fact that will give him a real inspiration to go and prove people wrong. And I think we're starting to see. Look, there's no getting away from it. We're asking him to do something slightly different to what he's been used to, and that is get on the ball and make us play and things like that. So that's a little bit of an adaptation at times for Woody, and he's loving it because he's not really been asked to do that. Also, you know, he was telling me today his family go to all the away games. They sit in the away end. I actually said to him, "Do you want me to sort some tickets out in the directors?" He says, "No, they love it." And my kids have got to get used to people saying my dad's rubbish or my dad's good or whatever. You know, I think it teaches them and brings them up in the right way. So I love that about him. You know, and football's a game of opinions.